Hi darlings, welcome to my channel. It's again Lerato and I'm back again with another video that I believe will help you start a wonderful business. All these ideas that I'll be sharing with you, they are great for South Africans and Africans alike, and actually they can be started by anyone anywhere in the world. But just to throw it in there, if you're a South African, these are the small business ideas that are currently in high need in our country. Okay, and yeah, most people are now moving to small businesses, are now moving to purchasing from small business owners, because of certain things. So this is an advantage for you who is watching. The business idea number one is mobile food stall. Okay, would you believe me if I tell you that almost 80% of these ideas that I'll be sharing with you, I've thought about them and I've thought of starting them just because I lack certain skills. I just had to let go of the ideas. But wow, guys, I've seen a lot of people grow and blow up in this ideas right here, especially with the right marketing strategy and finding the right locations where your customers are based. I have sold at and attended market days, and a lot of food stalls would get a lot of customers, guys, because wherever people gather, they want to eat. Okay, so this is an advantage for somebody who is a foodie, somebody who loves cooking, somebody who loves cooking, and somebody who would probably study this, as well as somebody who enjoys sharing videos online and tips on certain food and recipes and so on and so on. So yeah, food stalls, they sell a lot. Should I? By the way, let me say this. We South Africans, we love food, guys. I feel like that's why food stalls, food markets, and so on sell a lot, because yeah, South Africans love food and we just love nice food, guys. And so this is a business opportunity that can benefit you if you're somebody who loves this niche. And then the second one is being a personal shopper. I know, like, we may think, okay, but people like going to shops and so on. No, majority of people don't enjoy going to shops. I am one of those people, and honestly, I buy a lot online from the shops directly, but there are other shops that I wish I can buy from online, but they don't offer online shopping. And sometimes I have encountered a problem personally, and few of my friends have shared the same thingy, the same problem, whereby you want to buy, let's say, from Pick and Pay, and you want to buy something else from another shop, and so on and so on. But now you can't get all these things, from different shops delivered to you. You have to pay delivery fee here, delivery fee here, so on and so on. And so, being a personal shopper, especially in Gauteng, I think also places like Cape Town and so on in the suburbs, will be very beneficial, because yeah, a lot of people have busy schedules. Most of our South African people are the working class people, and we don't have that time to really go out there and do all that shopping. And so I've noticed people, especially in Johannesburg, people pay for a lot of things. People are willing to pay just to have somebody take away some of this responsibilities from them. And so yeah, the third one is being a meal prep chef, guys. Whoa. um I see a lot of people's I see a lot of people sharing recipes online and sharing that they do catering at events. But just ask yourself, how many events happen in certain areas out there, and how many people do catering? Okay, and I feel that that's a very highly competitive market, because it becomes a bit, it's highly competitive, because there are already people who have cemented themselves, people that are already having relationships with certain people, such that whenever there's an event, people hire that specific person. But when you extend yourself to even selling everyday food to people in their homes, Either, you can choose to sell that food, but then deliver it to the homes, like food like pap, guys. Like, I have times where I honestly have run out of dinner ideas. Cooking for your family for 365 days a year can be completely tiring, as well as, you run out of, meal ideas. And so having somebody who sells this dinner type of food that anybody can cook in their home and anybody can eat, it can be great, because then on a day where I feel that, okay, I cannot cook, then I can just order some and this and that from somebody, and then have that delivered to me, and then we eat. Or, meal prep chef, where you come to people's homes and then you prepare the meals for them, like, meal prepping. You either chop it, prepare certain, ingredients and so on, put them together for them in lunch boxes, and have these people know which lunchbox to take out on a certain day, and so on. So this is very beneficial. As I said, majority of the people here is in Gauteng and all this Cape Town and so on, they are working class people, and so some arrive home late, they have families, kids and so on. So having your meal already prepared for you in lunch boxes can be very helpful to mothers out there and certain single people, whoever that needs the service. Or you can meal prep these things with your own ingredients and send them to customers on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, depending on the business plan that you have, or depending on the subscription options you run, and so on. The first few points are really on food, and the next one is owning a bakery. Okay, so we have a lot of people, ordering cakes. We love ordering cakes here in South Africa that are personalized, should I say. Yeah, with the name and personal decor that you want on top of the cake, or ordering scones and biscuits and so on as a substitute for bread. Eating bread every time, it's not an ideal thing for families out there. And so having that business where you are baking and selling to people can be very beneficial for your business. Even for people who are doing events, they, it's really something that one should consider. So yeah, starting a bakery, you can do this from your home. A lot of people that, sell cakes and so on, they don't necessarily have a physical stall and so on. They actually sell from home and sell online. But you can also go to these different market days where you go with your muffins, cupcakes. My son calls them cupcakes. You go with all these things and display them there, and have people just buy one or two and keep tasting, and you give them the cards and let them know that they can contact you whenever they need a bucket of this, or whenever they need anything for an event, or just for their own family at home. And this is the last one on food, guys, I promise. The fifth one is homemade food delivery. Okay, so it goes with the meal prep idea that I said, okay, that I mentioned. Okay, so you just specifically cooking from your home, and you're making the homemade food. Okay, so we're tired of your KFCs and McDonald's and so on and so on. And so yeah, one thing I love about the restaurant is that you can get there and order a steak, rice and so on. But not everybody has time for that, and restaurants are too expensive, of course. And so having this homemade food delivery thingy, you can either one, cook them and sell them, or two, identify certain restaurants that sell homemade food, and build a relationship with them, where you can source customers for them, come and collect and deliver for the customers. So moving on from food, childcare services. Okay, guys, a lot of people here, especially in Joburg, we need childcare services, because it's not like back at home where you have. But even at home, I can imagine this would work. When I'm saying home, I mean like Amakasi and Limpopo, so on, Pumalanga, wherever, it can work. But when you're at home in a kasi, there you have a lot of neighbors, and there's a strong relationship, you know each other so well, such that you can leave them with your child and say, hey, I'm going to town, I'm coming, okay? But in Joburg and all the cities, it's really difficult to do that because people don't trust each other. We don't trust each other here. And so having a childcare service can be great. You just have to register yourself for certain services. You don't necessarily need to register with the department and so on, unless if you're starting a preschool. Then there's certain registrations that you must do, okay, and procedures that you must follow. But you just have to get yourself first aid certificates, register your business, of course, because parents want to know if their kids are going to be in a safe environment. So if you have a home where there's a lot of space and you have a whole room, or the outdoor, because one of the things that kids in Joburg are missing out on is having an outdoor experience where they can play out in the grass there and have educational games to play where they are learning something while at the same time enjoying their time while parents are away, okay? So you can do that if you have a safe place and so on, just for parents to believe in you. Or you can do one where you drive over or you go over to the house and stay with that child until the parents are back. Whichever one that suits you, and suits your schedule, that would be a great one where it's just you taking care of kids, babysitting the kids for a certain number of hours while parents are away out shopping or to an event or so and so on. Okay. Number 7 is laundry services. Okay. Washing for people, ironing for people. You can add blankets because we don't have. There's some laundry services where they don't do blankets, and yeah, I have 3 blankets right now that I want to go wash. And yeah, I let me not say a lot. I don't want people to think I'm lazy, but yeah, that's one business for people like us who tend to be lazy sometimes to do things ourselves. And so you can specialize in that, so you can have the right machines in your home and have people come and you wash and deliver. In fact, the aspect of having to deliver to them can be great because a lot of laundry services don't do that. The ones I've used don't do that, so I have to go and collect back. So so having to know that, oh, it can also be delivered, you can charge a delivery fee if you have a car, but if you don't have, it's okay, they can come and collect. The next one is mobile beauty services. Okay, so it's getting tiring to go into the salon and have somebody do your hair for 6 hours, then still have to drive back to the house. It's so tiring. And as I said, a lot of people don't have time, number one, for that because of, working and being on traffic every day. Number two, certain people, they work from home. And so it means while I go there to do my hair, I'm abandoning my work here at home. And in salons, you cannot actually go with your laptop and work because then you have to give the person the hair the whole time and so on. So having a person, a beautician, what do you call them, a person who does your hair, nails and so on, come to your house, it's one thing that I see a lot of people gravitating towards. And I'm one of those people that have moved completely from salons. I've only stick to the nail part because yeah, that part I still haven't found an excellent person who can do this. So it can be very beneficial for you if you're somebody who loves beauty, somebody who's running a beauty business, or somebody who's planning to start one. Think of going to your customers. Okay, you can have 2 options. Have one where in your home you have a room dedicated to that service, but you also give an option for you to go to the customers. Then in that way you're not limited. Number 9 is a mobile car wash. Okay, this is one thing that few people are doing, but majority of people are not at this level yet here in South Africa. In other countries like the UAE, in Dubai, I know in other places, like they have people come over to the house and what you call this, and do the car washing and so on. And guys, it's just, you just need to charge, okay? But don't overcharge, but just You need to have a proper pricing strategy to cover all these expenses. But as I said, people are working, people are tired, people want to have their weekend time to themselves, where they sit and chill with the family, relax, and so on. And so having a person come over to the house and do all this car washing, it can be a great benefit for you and also for the customer. And that's one thing that still have a huge gap, because as much as we have few people that are doing this, it's still not a lot. While I was talking about the mobile car wash, I also thought of something that I didn't write here, and that is having also, it can I say mobile petrol station? Is that what it's called? Whereby you pour. I saw this in other countries where it's a very huge convenience, and I saw one post like that, and a lot of our South African people commenting there and say, wow, this is convenient. I wish I could. Imagine being at home and being able to just call when you see that your petrol is low. I personally, except when my husband is driving, when I'm driving, I don't like stopping on petrol stations and refilling my car. So that would be beneficial really, to just have to call somebody and they come to the house and refill my petrol, and yeah, I can just focus on just driving on the road. So that's also one gap I've noticed we have in South Africa. Number 10 is agricultural business of ventures, such as poultry farming. There are people who sell chickens, live chickens, the kuhu. And then I saw somebody back at home in my hometown, and he is actually the first one to do that. Everybody who have sold this have never ever ever thought of doing this, and it's a need. So what he does, he has two options where you can buy the live chicken, you go and do it yourself, do everything yourself, or the second option, he prepares it for you. So they remove the feathers, they can make wonderful pieces for you, and so on, and then send it to you ready to be cooked. So that's one option. You buy these chickens, you prepare them for people, and you send them to them, because people don't have time to do all these things. So that's one option. Another option is just to sell the chickens as they are. Is just to sell eggs, to sell vegetables, is to sell, a lot of things. I know that they said also the pig business is a very good one. So I don't know. I'm not that interested in farming, but I've seen a lot of people speak wonderful things about it, and I think it's a very great idea to go into. It's a great idea to consider. And then the number 11, printing and design. So this is my field, okay? You can print. There people that just do printing of copies, when people want to make copies, or people want to print ID copies, do this, do that, or they want to design CVs. There are still places in South Africa where people have to submit a physical CV instead of emailing it. So printing and designing logos and so on can be a very great business if you market yourself very well, and if you can show people that you do have a skill in that. But I don't do that type of printing and so on, printing CVs and stuff. But my job is mainly centered around printing, because I print journals myself. I bind them. I do bulk orders. I do wholesale orders and so on. And so that's a wonderful one for me. I feel that, yeah, if you can have a laptop and a printer that is good, of good quality, then you're good to go. You don't need many things for this one. Okay. Number 12, art and craft. Okay. Art and craft. We have a lot of market shows. Market day. I call them market days, guys. But yeah, like, markets. Yeah, we have a lot of markets that are meant just for people in art. People who are able to design something from scratch, people who are in pottery, people who are, who make clothes and so on, anything art, Jay. So we have a lot of markets for that, and you can do that too, and go and display your services there, go and display your products there, okay? And people are moving towards having their things being customized rather than going to a shop and just buying a ready-made thing, especially for events. Okay, for me, every wedding I've attended, every event, I've always made sure that I go to a person who creates clothes, and I ask them to make a specific design for me. But for everyday clothing, I can go and buy anything. But now the art space, it's very beneficial. We have a lot of people in South Africa that love personalizing and having their things custom made for them. Okay, and then the number 13 is pet services, pet grooming, training, and onboarding services. I don't own pets, and so I wouldn't know much about that, but I've seen a lot of people, including some of my neighbors, who own pets. And some are having, some I can say are having a hard time with their pets. There was a very terrifying scenario that happened. I don't want to mention it, but I could see that, what, this is a need where if you're somebody who's passionate about pets, you can come, you can do the training for the dog, for the cat, whatever. You can do onboarding. Yeah, this is a sign that I must conclude this video because, yeah, my video keeps on stopping. I think I've run out of space. But then, yeah, this is an idea that I think could benefit you if you're a pet lover and, you're thinking of going into that business, to help people that are raising pets and they don't know anything about where to start. Okay, the next one is tech support services. Okay, you can offer this to small businesses as well as individuals. Okay, so this is one thing that remains a need in our community, especially for small businesses, because we cannot afford to have a full-time IT person, and so having to have somebody that you can build a relationship with, and they always are there on call whenever you need help, can be very, very beneficial. Okay, because a lot of tech support companies that exist, they cater to big businesses. Even the pricing is at the level of big businesses such as individuals and so on. I kind of like, yeah, they don't think of that, of going that path, of going that way whenever they need help. And so this can be one area that you can go into if you're somebody who is passionate about technology and IT related things. And number 15 is starting a language school or tutoring languages. Okay, we have a lot of math tutors and science tutors and so on, because back then this was the main need. A lot of kids were struggling with this subject. But as a teacher, I've also noticed that most of my learners in math, they actually struggle because of not understanding the language. Okay, and so really, we also have a lot of foreigners that are interested in learning languages, especially also African languages. We have nowadays in South Africa, in Joburg, a lot of parents from the kids that I've taught, as well as me as an example. A lot of parents are not from the same cultural background and languages. So a child may understand one language more than the other. And so we end up also being comfortable communicating in a language that we know all of us in the house will understand each other. Okay. And so the child end up growing, knowing more of English, especially because wherever you go, restaurant, when kids are playing, like literally I would have my child playing with other kids. They'll be running around with bicycles and they'll be speaking in English without even having to be told to talk that way. And so in schools as well, it's English 24/7. And so, yeah, kids they can understand some of these African languages, but I feel that I'm one of those parents who would love my child to still know his mother tongue deeply, deeply, as much as he can communicate at school and so on. And so, but there are few tutors I have searched, and there are I haven't found, let me just say this, I haven't found somebody who can tutor my son or teach my son Setswana and how to communicate and so on. yeah, and so this is one thing that is missing. We also have foreigners that want to learn the subject, and you know, you can position yourself as that person. You can offer this, you know, you can market yourself through online videos, you know, and online videos where you're teaching people, you know, certain pronunciations, certain word meanings, and so on and so on, or what an English word mean in Tswana, in Swati, in Zulu. You know, did you see on TikTok we actually have more Chinese teachers that will tell you, and not teachers like I said, classroom teachers, but yeah, more Chinese teachers online, where they will tell you, in China we don't say I love you, we say this, you know. And those videos are so intriguing. I love them. I always pause and watch, and before I know it, I've gone through this person's profile. And so you can do the same thing, you know, with our African languages. I would love to learn other African languages as well, you know, especially Swahili or Kiswahili, you know, yeah, because I want to travel, and I don't want to have to struggle when I get to certain countries. I want to understand what they're saying. And so yeah, language tutoring or language school is the best. Honestly, I think I must consider it. With that being said, guys, this is the end of the video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.